Major depressive episode, MDE, and MDE with severe impairment in the past year among youths aged 12 to 17 from 2004 to 2019. Among adolescents aged 12 to 17, the percentage who had a past year MDE with severe impairment increased from 5.5% or 1.4 million people in 2006 to 11.1% or 2.7 million people in 2019. These estimates in 2019 were higher than the estimates in each year from 2006 through 2018. The increasing trends in the prevalence of MDE and MDE with severe impairment among adolescents are consistent with the increasing trend in suicide attempts and deaths by suicide among adolescents. These trends for MDE, MDE with severe impairment, and suicidal behaviors among adolescents are major public health concerns in the United States. These trends also suggest the importance of depression, care, and suicide prevention among the population. The reason why I wanted to read that to you was because I'm always transparent about my life and the things that I've went through, and I could never be more thankful to Allah that I went through these things, because now I understand why I went through these things, and I'm blessed to have gone through these things, and God brought me through these things. However, a lot of people are reaching out to me now, and I've been in deep thought over it, and I've been pained over the DMs that I get, and I've been troubled over the messages that I get and calls that I get at times. To understand when you're going through a mental health crisis or episode and feel like there's no one you can talk to for fear that somebody is going to judge you or think that you're crazy, is a pain that I've experienced, where I felt that I couldn't speak to anybody because they were going to immediately think that I've lost it. And we walk around, we look regular, and we are, but there's just something that has kind of tilted, and it's due to the environment that we live in. It's due to the substances that are put in our body. It's due to trauma. It's due to lack of information. It's due to lack of exercise. It's due to lack of nutrition. It's due to pesticides and preservatives and fluoride and all of these things that are around us that don't belong in us, that are pushing inside of us. And all of these different experiences create these kind of issues. So I want you to understand that, first of all, you're okay. You're okay. Are you going to get through it? You're going to get through it. Can you get through it? You can get through it. And you will get through it if you believe that you will. So you have to have the mental toughness and the strength and the faith in your mind to fight back. And don't let anything that you don't want in your mind settle there. Well, how do we go about that? Two things can't occupy the same space at the same time. So what do we have to do? We are having and experiencing ideas that are not good. We're experiencing ideas that are painful or that suggest the wrong things to us. So a simplistic way to look at it is, if something bad is happening, then you have to make something good happen. And the way to do that is to feed your mind positive energy, powerful energy. And where does that come from? That comes from prayer. That comes from the study of the will of God. It comes from the study of the scriptures. It comes from exercise. Exercise helps to strengthen your mind as well. So you have the spiritual strengthening through the Word of God. Then you apply the physical strengthening, which is another will builder. Both of these build your will. And then you have the proper nutrition, which is another will builder, because each one of these components you have to discipline yourself, be on time with, be consistent with, create a schedule with, and have it for a period of time that just continues, which makes you disciplined, which builds your willpower. And all of these things help in assisting the off balance that's inside of us. And I'm telling you from experience, prayer on time builds your will, and it strengthens your mind and spirit, and it connects you to the unseen force that is omnipresent. And doing that, along with your exercise, along with the proper eating, strengthens you to overcome so many different difficulties. And I always tell you guys that there's studies out that show that exercise is more effective in treating mental issues like depression, anxiety, psychosis, those kind of things, more than pharmaceutical pills. So this is a big thing, but a lot of people don't know that. But I experienced it myself, and I went through it. I was asked, can I make it through this? Will I get through this? I had the same idea. I had the same mindset. I was in so much pain, and it looked like there was no way out of this. I couldn't talk to nobody about it. I didn't want to share it with nobody because I didn't want people to view me that way, because I knew I was okay. I just had something that I couldn't understand that happened, and I didn't know why it happened. But it pained me, it hurt me, and I was looking for help, but I couldn't go to too many people because, you know, when you're in a stage like that, you're vulnerable and your mind is weakened in a sense. So if you go to the wrong person, they can cause further damage. So you have to be careful about who you talk to when you're going through things like this. I was listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and someone was asking about, if I'm saying this correctly, being born with something that was from genetics, from their parents, having heart disease or diabetes running in a family, and then you pick that up because of genetics or whatever. And I remember the minister saying to the person about Jesus, and he said, "Behold, I make all things new." So what may seem like it's attached to you and there's nothing you can do about it, God has the power to relieve you, to transform you, to renew you, to revitalize you. This is easy for God to do. It's easy for Him to fix your condition if you're suffering from these things. I went through it, and it was for a period of 3 years, but it was He chose for me, I believe, for me to go through it for that long, for His purpose. Do you have to go through it that long? No, I don't know that. But I turned to Him through the scriptures, through the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, through nutrition, through exercise, through martial arts, through acts of kindness. I did everything that I could that I know was right. My prayers. I did everything that I knew what was right so I could show God that I'm serious about my surrender. I gave up the alcohol. I gave up the cigarettes. I gave up the marijuana. I gave up all of this stuff. And I went straight to God and surrendered. I had to show Him that I was serious. I can't say that I want this to stop and ask for His help and continue to do the same things that are causing this problem here. So He says, "Behold, I make all things new." It's easy. It's easy for God to change your condition. Why do I say that? I think all of us can bear witness that we've been in certain situations in our life where it felt like we were overcome. It felt like we were on the brink of destruction or embarrassment or humiliation. And at the right time, God came in and relieved us from prison. He relieved us from being arrested. He relieved us from all of these different things that could happen, dying, drowning, disease, whatever. He came through, and when we were yet but overcome, he snatched us out of the pit of fire that we were embarking on or about to fall into. He snatched us out and landed us or delivered us to a peaceful place. Okay? But it says, yet man is ungrateful because we turn back. We forget that he gets us through, and then we turn right back. So it says, yet the dog, behold, the dog returns to his vomit. You know, what got us sick in this condition, we throw it up. God gets us through it. We go back and eat it. We go back to the same filth, the same nonsense. I was speaking to my brother Ricky, and he reminded me, because I've been going through some trials myself, and he said that the dawn comes after the darkest hour, the darkest period of the night. Then the first appearance of light comes, the dawn. So remember that after difficulty comes ease. Though you may be in an extremely dark time, you're right on the brink of light, right there. And why do I say that to you? Because I want to give you some good news. I want to give you some great energy, that it's not all bad, that you're going through a birthing process to a new level of understanding, a new level of how to live your life. So sometimes we go through these traumatic or dark things that seem like it's to be done to us, but it's really being done for us. So I'm going to leave you with this. Can God get you through this? Can you make it through? Is there a way? God, when he created himself, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that he created himself out of triple darkness. And after, or in that time where he created himself out of triple darkness, he created himself from nothing. That was the beginning of God. He created himself out of nothing. So when we are in times of stress and we don't see a way, we're in times of despair and we don't know where the help can come from, and we don't see it, that's easy for God to produce a change for you, because his beginning started that way, out of nothing, and from nothing he can pull and make something instantly. It's nothing for him to do. It's always easy for him to do. But the question is, do we get it? Do we understand why we're going through this? And are we doing what's necessary to show God that we're worthy to get out of the darkness? You know, like some of us go to prison and we get put in the hole. And you get put in the hole, you got to stay in there for a while until you've proven that it's time for you to come out, right? So we go through these time periods in our life that feels uncertain, and it feels like there's hopelessness. And never forget that your best friend in all of this is God, the Creator. If you have not been speaking to your God and talking to your God, start talking to him. He will see you through. He will deliver you. He will deliver you. Have faith in on him. He is real. He does not want you to suffer. He wants you to upgrade. And sometimes we have to go through pain. We have to go through confusion. We have to go through trial to find the truth.